vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&A, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than ever before, with guests like Anakin Skywalker himself, Hayden Christensen, Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Encanto, WWE Hall of Fame wrestler Sting, and Lou Diamond Phillips. Plus, your favorite voice actors. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $25. Kids tickets are just $8 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including some really cool VIP perks. Don't wait to get your tickets because early bird pricing is for a limited time. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com. Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. Like many of you, I still collect physical books, and not just any books, but books about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. I go to Megas Books and Herbs, located in the Arts District of Minneapolis, but books are only part of it. Megas Books and Herbs offers crystals, jewelry, herbs, oils, and consultations on how to use this stuff. Check out their in-store classes and events too. This place has everything to expand your horizons. Located at 1848 Central Avenue, Minneapolis, or visit megasbooks.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio.
It is Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget, that means that you could talk about whatever you wanted tonight. Put it into the comments. Give us a call. What's on your mind in a sort of a paranormal sort of way? We'd love to hear from you tonight. You can call in 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. Or we are streaming all over the place. If you want to put a question in the comments, say hello to us. Are you investigating somewhere this weekend? Tell us what's going on. We'd love to know. Over in Eden Prairie at the station, we have Adam with us. How are you doing tonight, Adam?
Doing well tonight, sir. Nice Friday evening here in the Twin Cities. The humidity has finally kind of died down a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know where we're not streaming tonight? Well, you know, one place,
maybe.
Well, that too. But once again, AM 950 Radio on Facebook, we can't get a stream going over there. So I don't know.
I don't
know what the hell's going on over there. I don't know.
You know what? I blame Matt McNeil.
Well, you know who I blame? I blame Patrick Lilia, actually, because I was in the other day and I explained him because Wednesday night we couldn't get to AM 950 as well on Facebook, and he said, "Oh, I fixed it." And then, as you could see, he didn't.
No, he did not. He's a liar. Patrick's not a liar. He probably thought it was fixed. He probably did fix it, and then Zuckerberg's like, "Oh wait, I don't like Patrick," and turned us back off.
He made a decision on Patrick without really even knowing him.
And I think it's because we called him a reptilian. Maybe Zuckerberg, we're sorry for calling you a reptilian. Will you let us back on?
I
Maybe
do.
I'm the one who just called him a reptilian.
Yeah, I don't recall ever calling him a reptilian myself, but not that I'm
You know,
trying
I
to throw
did.
you under the reptilian bus, but I just don't remember me doing
Oh,
that.
I'm sure it was me, and throwing me under the bus. I mean, I don't think that would be a very smooth ride. Uh,
Uh,
I'll show myself out. Good night, Greg.
so we have stuff to get to tonight, but once again, we're more than happy to bypass all that. If you have something you want to call in about, talk about, it's just kind of how it works. We have, once again, call in 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Put into the comments as well. One of the things I do want to talk about real fast is that event that we're doing September 30th over at the 300 Clifton Mansion. We have tickets available. There's still plenty of time to get them, though I would say you come on out and get them. And one of the things that I wanted to kind of quickly talk about here, though, is making sure that people also understand that we do a paranormal investigation, that we do bring people to places of the mansion, and we do tour stops that people don't normally have the opportunity to do. But I also want to make sure that it's very clear that if you are doing this with us, this event, you approach it at your comfort level. So if you want to go there, you want to experience it, but you don't necessarily want to do like the investigation, but you want to be in the rooms while it happens, you don't have to investigate either. You don't have to, use the equipment or whatever else. We think that it'd be a lot of fun, and we're going to show people how to use it. We're going to show people, what the equipment is, what it looks like. But if you just want to be in the room and just see a beautiful mansion that's really old but really remodeled and brought back to its original state, that's what you're more than welcome to do that as well. I just don't want to make it sound like that if you go to the event that you have to we're going to leave you in a room by yourself with some gear. And we did that to Adam, but he was okay with it. But generally speaking, we're not going to do that to anybody else.
I was quite fine with it. The spirits were not, but I was happy with it.
They talked to you.
They did. And I still to this day talk about being in that first room that I was ever in and getting 2 fantastic EVPs. And that was about a year ago.
And I was also getting spirits as well, because I left the room and got my hip flask out, and I was able to communicate in my own way. So that worked out very well. We all got what we wanted that weekend. So.
I'm glad you upgraded to the hip flask instead of the old school, flask tie where you'd wear the tie and, just suck the booze out of that. But I'm glad you've upgraded.
Or it's a hollowed out spirit box that just has booze in it.
Oh my God, that would be a brilliant Christmas gift for you.
Drink it through the and where the antenna would go, and be like, yeah.
I that's a damn good idea. You and Gary Gulka should get on that.
Yeah, I'm sure. He doesn't respond to me, actually, because I actually reached out to Gary. And folks that don't know, Gary Gulka is the creator of the modern day mass produced spirit box, the SB7. We had him on the program a year ago. He was fantastic. But at one point we're like, let's get together, let's do a live spirit box session together. And in typical Greg fashion, I let that go. I never reach out to people in a timely manner. Even when they could be giving me a platter of $1 million, and I'll be like, let me get back to you. And then like 2 years later, it's like, is that still available? That's kind of how I operate. I mean, honestly. So I reached out to Gary, and he's just like, he said to me, because he created the SB7 Pro, and he sent me one, and I've been using it. And he's like, how has the SB7 Pro moved paranormal investigating forward for you? And that's kind of a daunting question. And I wrote back to him and I said, well, I'll tell you what we did with it. I used it on a CE5 session, which is that session where we reach out to aliens. And I explained how that worked and what we did. Never heard from him again. I don't know. That was that. That's the end of that. So, I don't know.
Now he's going to ghost you, no pun intended, for a while. and then he's going to market it as, hey, you can talk to aliens with it now, hoping that you've forgotten about it, like you forgot to reach out to him prior, that you even told him that.
Well, and for those of you who, I mean, we've talked about this before, that Spirit Box, at least the creator of the modern Spirit Box, Frank Sumption, who passed away, I think, back in 2015, he created the Spirit Box as a way to talk to aliens. That was what his original intention was for it. And then suddenly you're getting spirit coming through. And my guess too, and we've talked about this many times, is how often was he getting maybe alien communication? He just didn't realize it. I don't know. I mean, he's gone, so I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's something that, he didn't really keep a whole lot of recordings either.
I don't think so. I don't heard anything. And I think the worst part for poor Frank is that he would make these boxes, and they're very crude. They're very crude looking, but they're very good. And he would make them, and he would not sell them to people. He would gift them to people. He'd gift them to certain people.
Yeah,
and
there aren't a whole lot of Frank's boxes out there.
No, and what ends up happening, of course, is greed. And people who want it, and people who think automatically that this is the only way to reach out to spirit. And now these things, if they come out, back when I last looked, they're going for $1,500, which was a few years ago. I'm sure now we're talking at least, 3,000 probably for something like that.
There aren't many of the originals left out there to begin with.
No, it's interesting because I don't know how many there are. I don't know if there's like a number that we know for certain. I don't. It's interesting. It's very interesting. So getting back quickly to the event, once again, we hope that you come out and see us. Go to 300clifton.com. There's a banner on that page for GhostBox Radio, the Candlelight Ghost Trolley Tour. And please sign up. We'd love to see you September 30th. Char Savoy is going to be joining me. Excuse me. And we're going to have it's going to be a fun time. And I'm excited because we're going to places like that. The trolley stop. I mean, they don't let people in this place, and that's really exciting. So I'm hoping that we're getting some more people interested to sign up and come on out and join in. That's really all. And I think we're going to talk about it a little bit more next week. I haven't asked her yet, but I'm hoping to get Shar on the program, and I think we're even going to get Chad on to talk about a couple things. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with that. Now, also, where were we here? Something else I wanted to talk about here before we get in a whole lot of stuff, because I got question of the week coming up here. Question of the week, of course. I've been noticing that we've been getting less and less interaction on question of the week. I think Adam and I were talking about this just prior to the program. I think my questions are getting too weighty for people. This time, let's see, I asked the question because we're going to be talking in the second segment about the Senate Armed Services Committee. It's going to be holding a UFO hearing after the November elections. With this and a couple of hearings from last year, are you satisfied with the government's new approach to attempt at transparency to the public in regards to aliens, UFOs, and UAPs? We're going to be talking about that more a little bit later, but we really didn't get a whole lot of responses on it. And I wonder if we're if we're really wearing people down with the alien talk and whatnot. And if we are, let us know. I would love to know. And one thing though, and I'd love to know how this works. I've been posting stuff on X now for probably about 4 or 6 months. I find, and I actually thought about this today, it's actually easier for me to get a response from what I consider an actual alien or a Bigfoot than getting people to interact with me on X, formerly known as Twitter. It's like, is there a force field around my X account that makes it impervious for people to answer? Now, Adam, you share out my stuff, and I appreciate that. But boy, it's like you put out a question like that, you would think that people would love to even if they're just like, shut up, but you don't get that either. I mean, it's amazing. And I literally mean the fact that I have been able to communicate with all of these entities that are not considered part of our planet Earth, but I cannot get anyone to interact with me on X. What is going on here?
With X anymore, I really don't know. I think everything on there is pretty much a bot or just a commercial at this juncture. So unless you are wanting to connect with, the same casino ad that's every other post, then I think we're kind of out of luck on X.
It's tough. I mean, I'm getting all right traction on Instagram. We are doing pretty well on Facebook, except this last time around. And so, I mean, it's just really interesting how I don't think it should be this hard. And I do another account. I'm a big researcher into British television and the history and all that stuff. And it's called From the Archive. And that is that's a very healthy account, actually, where I can post. And there's one time I got like 600 likes on something I posted about. It's like there's a pulse out there.
Mhm.
But I also think that, in my opinion, what we're seeing with like the reaction on X to my stuff and your stuff, if you post paranormal, is a general way that paranormal is looked at in our community. And I find it that a lot of people don't want to interact unless you are, one of the celebrities, because they do pretty well. Like I follow like Amy Bruni, for example.
Mhm.
And I tried to get in touch with her because she's going to be in town at the Parkway in a week. And it'd be like, I'd love to have you on the show, or can we do something like we did with what's his face from from Ghost Hunters.
Oh, with Dustin, yeah.
Dustin Perry. And get nothing. And but yet she has, ton of followers and ton of interactions and stuff. I could say on X, I think that I would like to give someone, $100. All you have to do is put it into the comments. I'm not going to do that, by the way. But but I feel like even if I did, no one is going to respond to me. It's just like, I don't know what it is. And maybe it's me. Maybe they just don't like the cut of my jib of my account. I really don't know. It's strange.
Or maybe it's the lack of a blue check mark.
I'm already paying money to get, so I can have a longer place to post, I can have more than 250 characters or whatever it is what they do now.
I don't remember how long it is. It's been that long since I've ran out of a character limit.
Well, and so I did the blue check mark on Facebook back in the day, like just a few months ago, because there's that period of time that I was kicked off of Facebook for a while, and Ernie Pack, who we just had on this week, said, well, I got my blue check mark and it's never happened to me. I'm like, oh, well, maybe that's all it takes. And then like literally a month later, it happened again. And it's like, Ernie, it's just like, I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous. So
why did I just get Hogan out of that?
Yeah, pretty much. Ernie. That was Smokey the Bear talking, by the way. Yeah, it was pretty.
Smokey the Bear.
Denise loved that music you found.
Oh God, we should have used it. Oh well.
Here I am trying to attempt to have a program that is of serious nature once in a while.
And your guest is Ernie Pack.
Well, I mean, that's just it, though. Normally, when we have Ernie on, it becomes like a lot of like joking around and stuff. And he had said to me one time that he's like, I wish people would take me more seriously. Boo hoo hoo, a little crab apple over there in West Point, Kentucky. And I'm like, all right, fine, let's get you on, let's do something serious. And then we were, but I'm like, here, we're gonna do something serious. I get on, Adam's like, I got the Smokey the Bear song we're gonna play. It's like, we can't do that. That's not what I've said to him. We're having a serious conversation. But what people don't realize from Wednesday's show, the minute that we both went off the air, everybody just that was around, and that included Denise Pack, who was in the other room the whole time, I guess, we all just lambasted on this poor man of just like, it's like we were holding in for so long to be nice that we just
we
blew it out.
destroyed him after the show.
Oh my God.
There was a half-hour roast of Ernie Pack after the show that nobody will ever hear.
And it was of good material, visually, audibly, just just from us speaking, it was really good. And then the leader of it all, of course, would be Denise. So yeah, that I don't know. Why don't we go ahead? Let's do this. Let's get to our first break. Otherwise, we'll just be talking all night. When we come back, we can go to question of the week. We can keep talking. I want to talk about hot dogs because I'm hungry. But whatever you want to talk about, don't forget too that we'd love you to call in and with anything that's on your mind. Also, we'd love to hear it if it's in your comments. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. Recently, I had a large order of custom designed t-shirts that needed to be turned around in a hurry. I knew exactly who to call. Grady Gear Company. Grady Gear Company is a local company that handles large and small custom clothing and apparel orders. I had a lot of questions from color, shirt quality, and what sizes we needed. Grady Gear Company was great to work with. They got us what we needed on time, and now everybody's looking great around the station in their new gear. Start your order at GradyGearCo.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday.
Why didn't you play the whole thing?
On GhostBox Radio.
Thanks. That's professional. That's you just ran the board as if you went to Brown Institute. All right.
It was Brown College at that point. Thank you very much. We sounded more Ivy League.
Yeah, right. If Roy Findon was there, that's all that matters.
All that matters is that Adam Wettrick was there.
Yeah, right. Well, now Adam Wettrick is here messing up my show. So
it didn't just take me to do it. Speaking of messing up the show, I believe Greg's internet connection went out. So we are continuing here with Casual Friday here on AM 950 on GhostBox Radio. Put into the chat anything you would like to talk about, and we'll hopefully have Greg back on here soon once his internet comes back in. But we were going to be talking about hot dogs and grilling and everything else that's paranormal in the paranormal world. And Greg still has not come back yet. So heading into this weekend, We were talking about in the first segment how there is going to be another hearing in Congress coming up about UAPs and UFOs. Well, with that coming up in November, we had the question of the week as and Greg is back.
Did you miss me?
I filled in as best I could.
I'm sure-
We first started with hot dogs, and it's like, oh, by the way, there's a question of the week.
I bet you did an amazing job. My browser just died,
Just
and of course I'm going to blame you for it. I mean, I blame the last bit.
Rule 28, blame Adam for everything.
Right. And it's happened sometimes. I'm using Chrome, and not on the show. It's never happened on the show before, but it's just died. And then bringing it back, it kept going away again. And it's just like, boy, this is really par for the course. Considering you didn't have internet for a second, it almost looked like you weren't going to have internet tonight on your end.
Were there any solar flares or anything today that's supposed to be messing with things?
I don't know. I know
we're supposed to be Earth within the next, actually, it might even be today. We were supposed to finally be intercepting a billion-year-old radio signal that they've been following for years is finally entering our area of the Milky Way. So it is possible we are getting interference.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I know it's Casual Friday, but it doesn't mean that that my browser could take the night off. I mean, we're only going to be on for another half hour. Chrome, can you just wait a second here?
The browser's mad because you didn't grill tonight.
I didn't grill tonight. I'm gonna do chicken wing Friday and Sunday.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm one of those people that plans out like my meals. Like, it's like, okay, on Tuesday I'm going to have this, because it's the only honestly, Adam, it's the only thing that keeps me going. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, because this is second nature. You don't really need to look forward to this at all. Yeah, really. Putting together the show that runs 5 nights a week, having different guests and different topics. No, really, dude.
Yeah, I think you summed that up very nicely. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
And then I gotta find my websites again that I have up there. But I want to say I got a text today from Carla. And she said, one of the women I work with who I turned on to GhostBox Radio wants to know if you were going to do an episode on the recent Bigfoot sightings in Duluth, Minnesota. Now, first of all, Carla, thank you for showing other people our show here. I really appreciate that. Adam, I looked for it. I did not see anything about a sighting in Duluth. Have you heard anything?
The last one that I heard about up in Duluth was probably about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
There was a family, I want to say it was like Christmas or Christmas Eve, during the day, caught a movement in their backyard through their woods. And the video that they have, their dog actually goes chasing it, gets probably about 30 yards from it, yelps like it's, been bit, and then turns right around and comes racing back towards the house.
Oh, interesting.
That's the last, and I want to say that's like 2, maybe 3 years old.
Now, of course, when Carla sent this text to me, it was during the workday. And by the time I actually responded, kind of in the same vein of what we talked about with Gary Galka, it was about 6 hours later. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, oh, I didn't hear about that. Does she have any more information? And Carla's like, I'll ask Monday, because they are done with their work week, which is not unreasonable. So we'll see if she sends us anything more back, because I haven't heard anything. If anyone else has heard anything about it, give us a call. Let us know about it. 952-946-6205. You know what's really interesting about the whole browser thing? I mean, it's not interesting once you hear it, but normally when we go to commercial break, I have a browser up that has our logs, our Simian. Mm-hmm. And every time you go to commercial break, it loses the connection and it goes down. It didn't go down this time when you went to commercial for some reason.
And I didn't have to hit the space bar twice like I normally do when you're viewing it.
Oh, interesting. But then my browser that has the show on it did go down. So there's that.
Maybe it was just running off of memory real quick, like a fax machine that you haven't changed paper in for a while.
That could very well be. Yeah, I really don't know. But yeah, so I know that this conversation about web browsers is so fascinating. So let us know if you want to hear more about that, because I'd love to share more about that, quite frankly. Let me see if I can get that article up I want to talk about real fast here. And I don't know if you had seen this or not. Let me see here. Control click. That's what I've been doing. This is compelling stuff. Let me just say this is going very well tonight. Let's see here.
Well, we could probably have a haunted browser or something. The ghost.
We could. That's what it is. It's paranormal. It has to be haunted. In the meantime, Joshua did say, "Yup, strange energy, and the moon is going back to crescent."
And there's something we're going to end up having. Essentially, it's going to look like we have two moons coming up here for a little bit.
Yeah. Char Savoy sent me a picture of the moon tonight. She's like, "It's huge," and it's like, "Yeah, it is." She somehow always takes really good pictures of the moon. And I don't know why, because when I take a picture of it, it looks like just like a bulb in the sky.
I think Tuesday or Wednesday night, she had like a series of just like fascinating photos that she took of the night sky.
Yeah. Yeah, she's always taking good pictures of that stuff.
And happy birthday, Char, if you're listening.
Yeah, that's right. It was her birthday yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, and I totally biffed it on the Book of Face.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't realize. I mean, until I saw it in the other people, of course, doing it, not me. So I was like, yep, I'm a great friend.
I came across it when I was looking for question of the week.
Right. So here we go. The Senate Armed Service Committee is looking to hold a UFO hearing after the November elections. Senator Kristen Gillibrand's office confirmed to The Hill. The hearing announcement follows an increase in sightings of what's officially known as unidentified aerial phenomena, which I hate, also known as UAP, include one purportedly near. Maybe that should be the question of the week. How many of us hate the term UAP? I'm sure I'll be in the minority.
That's more of a poll than a question. But
I don't think I could do a poll on my page. So, you get what you get. Well, I could do one. I think I could do one on X, but we already talked about no one goes there. So a UAP, including one purportedly near Maelstrom Air Force Base in Montana. It would also come more than a year after an explosive House hearing in July 2023, when 3 former Pentagon officials testified about their experience with or sightings of UAP, warning that a lack of information on the phenomena could pose national security risks. Now, Gillibrand, who in 2022 helped start the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, also known as ARROW, we've talked about ARROW before, created to assess reports of UAP, wants a progress update on the office's work. It's a priority for me. I think it's very important that we continue to make things publicly available. Gillibrand earlier this month told Matt Laszlo's DC Ask a Poll podcast. She wants a progress report on how many unidentified aerial phenomena we've assessed and analyzed, and for the office to give examples of what we have identified and give examples of what we haven't identified. Gillibrand, who chairs a subcommittee under the Senate Armed Services Committee on Emergency Threats and Capabilities, added that she wants ARROW to continue to build credibility. Her office confirmed Tuesday to The Hill that there will be a hearing likely in November, and last summer's headline-making House hearing on UAP, during which former Air Force intelligence officer David Grush alleged the government was hiding technology for foreign or even extraterrestrial origin. Representative Tim Burchett requested that the Inspector General of the intelligence community to investigate the claims further. But lawmakers have been frustrated with any progress since then, with Burchett suggesting in April that he believes the U.S. government was involved in a cover-up of information on UAP. Only now, a Pentagon report on UAP released in March concluded that there is no evidence the U.S. has reverse-engineered extraterrestrial technology, pushing back on claims that is hiding off-world spacecraft. To me, that is such a silly thing to say. That is very naive. To me is a very naive statement.
That they think they're covering something up?
That they're not thinking that they're like, we don't have any evidence of it, therefore it must not be.
No. No.
That's naive.
Very much so.
Yeah. Thank you, Joshua. Joshua's like, no, I'm with you. It's UFO.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
UFO.
it is UFO. And this was my question is like, do we like the transparency that we've been seeing so far, at least the attempt at transparency that we've now been seeing over the last year, regarding UFO, UAP, alien, all that stuff? And I think, I'm kind of critical on it a little bit, but in a way, Joshua, I think he puts it very kindly and I would agree with this. Thank God someone is paying attention. I mean, there is something there. Now, Adam, you had responded. What you said?
Yeah, and to kind of paraphrase what I put is, I almost think that we're getting these little bits and bits of information as a way that to kind of soften the blow, if you will, or get us ready. I think not only the US government, but governments around the world have got some sort of information that they haven't completely released to us in fully, but they're giving us little chunks, because we're not the only country that has had hearings over the last 18 months about UFOs, UAPs, man made or extraterrestrial made equipment. There have also been hearings in Russia, China, Japan, and in Mexico. And that doesn't also include some of the countries that may be having private chamber conversations about this that aren't released to the public. Countries like England or France or
Mhm.
Italy that don't always release what their meetings are about, like they do here in the US or in Canada and many other countries. So the fact that we've got at least 5 that have released information and done it publicly, I'm going to imagine there are more who have done it privately, and those folks in the world governments, UNs, things like that, NATO's, whoever it might be, they do have information probably coming from the source, because I can see us having a true alien contact, and I'm going to say within the next 5 years.
Now, breaking news here, real fast. Carla is watching tonight live, and I appreciate that. Regarding the Duluth Bigfoot um, sighting, and I don't have anything new on it other than that she said she'll ask Monday. If my coworker has more information, I'll pass it along. Love to you both. Appreciate that very much. Adam, do you think that in regards to the hearings and stuff, to me, I mean, we do touch on the fact that there is like that we might have we might have certain things like reverse engineering, or we might have some bodies of aliens, or we might have a craft or something. Do you think that that has been the focus, or do you think that it needs to be more of the focus on in these hearings?
I think we need to focus more on what's coming and not what we've already got. Because I think in everyone's pocket, for the most part, they're already carrying reverse engineered alien technology when it comes to your iPhone or smartphone.
I guess where I'm coming from with that though is like I think it's twofold. I think we do want to have like some sort of like, yes, we will agree that there is life outside of the earth, but I do think that there needs to be an understanding. Why are we hiding this information? Why are we still like having to have a government that is doing a hearing on itself to understand what it itself is doing, in regards to this? I think that I would love to hear more about that, love to see more about that, because I really don't think that there's a lot of people out there who, I mean, there's a lot of people actually that don't believe that there's life outside of Earth, but I think there's a lot of people who do though as well.
Yeah, and I think as a whole, as a populace, not just in the US, but worldwide, we need to be kind of babies spoon fed
Yeah.
this information. Because as Ernie alluded to on Wednesday, when we kind of brought this up, the information that could come out if and when extraterrestrial life does make themselves known here on this planet, that's going to tear down a lot of not only political regimes, probably a lot of religious regimes, and who knows what else, when we as a human species know that there's more out there than just us, and that the majority of people who think we're just floating out here in this darkness by ourselves get the reality check that we're not. That's going to cause a lot of issues, I think.
I just don't understand how anyone can think that way. I mean, to each their own. It's not my place to tell people how to think. It truly isn't, obviously. But I mean, just the idea of like the evidence is in front of us every night. All you have to do is walk outside and look up, and to think that everything that we're seeing out there, that out of that, there's just one small little blue green ball that has life in it. Of intelligence. It surprises me. It's incredible.
Well, it's kind of like the Carl Sagan poem, little blue dot.
Totally. Why don't we go ahead and do this? We blew through this. Part of it was because I wasn't really on the segment until much later. Let's go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, I want to get into what other people have been thinking about this. I also want to kind of show a photograph here to Adam and get his thoughts on it and whatever else we want to talk about. It's Casual Friday, and you're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. Let's go on a paranormal investigation together. There is no better place to do that than a one-of-a-kind event we're holding at the haunted 300 Clifton Mansion in downtown Minneapolis, Monday, September 30th. This unique event starts with a quick 101 on how to use the equipment. Then we take a very special trolley tour. And unlike normal candlelight ghost tours, we stop at one of the locations on the tour and do a paranormal investigation right there. We return to the 300 Clifton Mansion and embark on a paranormal investigation throughout the beautiful 20,000 square foot home, exploring the large formal living rooms, secret passageways, and basements deep below, including areas not normally accessible to the public. The 101 and investigations are led by Char Savoy and myself. Tickets are limited. This event starts at 6:30 p.m. Monday, September 30th, with a couple of pricing options available, and tickets are available at 300clifton.com. Look for GhostBox Radio Candlelight Ghost Trolley Tours on the main page. Twin Cities Con returns to the Minneapolis Convention Center for their fourth year, November 8th through 10th. Twin Cities Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&A, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than ever before, with guests like Anakin Skywalker himself, Hayden Christensen, Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Encanto, WWE Hall of Fame wrestler Sting, and Lou Diamond Phillips. Plus, your favorite voice actors. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $25. Kids tickets are just $8 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including some really cool VIP perks. Don't wait to get your tickets because early bird pricing is for a limited time. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com. Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday. On GhostBox Radio.
It is Casual Friday on GhostBox Radio. Thank you for joining us. Once again, anything on your mind, give us a call, 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. And Adam, we on Tuesday, we had Lyle Blackburn on, and we were talking about the Lake Worth monster. And I wanted to show you, there's a picture of it. There's one picture of it, and I wanted to show it to you, okay? Let's get your thoughts on it. Ready?
Alrighty.
All right. Oh, sorry. No, that's not it. My mistake. that's Ernie. And I saw Ernie is on here. So Ernie, just perfect timing. Perfect timing. Good to see you here. Here's the real picture though of what was taken. It was actually a Polaroid picture taken back in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is pretty interesting. Here it is.
Oh,
Of
that's cool.
Right. And I said to Lyle, I said, I think that to me, I mean, I know it's not, but it looks like it's almost like a night vision in a sense,
Yeah.
because it's like a reverse of what you would expect it to be. So it must have had a flash on it. But they said that the creature had like white fur. So I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I just loved it, and I see that it was still on my StreamYard, so I wanted to show you that because I know you hadn't seen it, and I don't know, that's cool stuff.
That's cool too because it looks like the high grass goes up to its waist, so it's at least got to be 6.5 feet tall.
I think they said it was 7 something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was
Yeah, you're
kind of
not
close
off.
extrapolating.
Yeah, you're not too far off with that.
That
And
is neat.
isn't it cool?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really cool. We were Denise is also in the chat. I see Ernie and Denise in tonight, and we were talking a little bit about what you had talked about on Wednesday after the show. I'm not going to get into because I don't think you've posted it yourself, and regarding some of the stuff you experienced at the Ditto House recently. But one of the things that I was mentioning to Adam, because after the show, folks, on Wednesday when we had Ernie on, we had a really good conversation, and then we got Denise came on because sometimes we do a post show where it's not recorded, we're just all conversing and talking, and Denise was sharing something that happened at the Pack House. It's pretty much what it is, the Ditto House, and it's like a lot of things. It sounds just unbelievable, it just sounds absolutely unbelievable. And I was talking with Adam tonight before we got on the air, and I said, that's the thing about Denise and Ernie Pack. Okay, so Denise is like, you can talk about it, and I don't guarantee that I'm going to get all the facts right, but there was actually, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to get the facts wrong. It's not getting to what my story is about. My story is about, because I don't want to get the facts wrong on it. But the thing is like Denise and Ernie will tell us stuff, and we'll just be like, that's incredible. It's like it's beyond really understanding. And so early on, I might have been like, well, that's probably not quite how it happened. But the thing is that often they'll be like, and do you want to see it? like there was one time when we were in Kentucky, and she was talking about some investigation that they did, and there was this place that had some very dark energy, and she was talking about how this woman who was provoking ended up getting like thrown on the ground, stomach down, and whatever entity was in there was shaking her like those ropes in the gym, kind of this whole like thing. And when she said that, I'm just like, I mean, I'm sure, that sounds kind of exaggerated, whatever. And then she's like, do you want to see it, the video of it? And Shar and I, because Shar was out there, I was out there, like, sure. Sure enough, this woman is being like lifted off the ground and slammed down, lifted, slammed down, lifted, slammed down. And it was like, holy cow. So if Denise ever says, do you want to see something, or Ernie, as much as I give Ernie a lot of crap, these people are living the paranormal, life. But what I also appreciate about both of them too is that they've come to a point that they don't need to impress anybody because they're just living it. This is daily for them. This is their existence. So yeah, she had footage of this, but that's not how they operate. They live the life. They don't worry about getting a recording of it. And that's what I personally like. And that's what I've been moving more towards over time myself, because what are we collecting the evidence for? We're not collecting it. I mean, sometimes yes, I do want to play stuff and have people hear it, and there is a little bit of I'd love to people be like, oh, that's great, Greg. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. But honestly, it comes down to they're there telling us, the spirits, Sasquatch, whatever, they're reaching out to us because we want them to reach out to. It's a one-on-one thing. It's not because we're trying to get a trophy of a recording. And you get to like a Denise and Ernie Pack level where they don't need to record it because they've experienced it, they lived it. If you don't believe them, you're not going to ruin their day. They're not going to give a crap. They're not going to worry about it at all because they know what they know. And as Denise just put in the comments, we're in the moment. And those are, when you have friends who are investigators who do this, it's always worthwhile to spend a little bit of time to learn from them. Hopefully some people have learned a thing or two from whatever I've done, but you're never at a point that you don't stop learning. And so going out to Kentucky, I know I learned a great deal from Denise and Ernie, and it wasn't not necessarily about how you do it, but the ideology behind it. And I just find that very important. And I feel like that gets missed. And at the same time, when I say it gets missed, I also need to be careful and appreciative of the fact that we all, we do want to share some of our stuff, and not everyone's going to be at the plane that Denise and Ernie are at, but it's not a bad place to be, is all I'm saying.
And to go along with it, it's like Ernie and Denise both have day jobs too. So they go home every night to a haunted house. So yeah, they live the paranormal life. And is it exciting? I think it would be. It would be a lot of fun. But I don't think there are a lot of people who could handle it like Ernie and Denise can. And obviously, you know them personally. I only know them from the handful of times they've been on the show. But it takes a certain mindset to be able to live in the Ditto house and live a normal life. And these two, they've got it. They are so grounded and so open at the same time to where this isn't anything out of the ordinary for them.
No, it's interesting because I think it is and it isn't. I think, and I'm not saying that to contradict you, because I think you're right, but I also feel like that there is, that there is that constant respect that they have for the situation, for the spirits, whatever else, that is actually allowing all that to happen. And that but it keeps them grounded because they appreciate it. I think it's just a different, and this is my thought on it. This is just a different approach to how, probably 99% of people approach paranormal investigations. One of the things that I feel like, and when I think about myself doing it, is I see so many teams out there, like, we're trying to establish if spirit even exists. We're trying to establish if ghosts are real. That you hear that a lot with teams.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, to each their own. But I feel like that when people say that, I'm like, with the life I've lived, I'm not even talking about Denise and Ernie or Shar or what you've experienced. But the life I've lived is like, there is no question. I mean, we're done with that chapter of the book. Now we want to all I want to do now is just continue to communicate, see how much I can communicate, but also how can I help them? So I find that's, it's, I mean, once again, it takes all kinds to do this. So, whatever is your comfort level. But when people are like, well, I don't know if they exist, that's what we're trying to do. We're putting flour out on the floor, see if we get footprints. Fine, but in my mind, there is no doubt whatsoever,
But at the same time, there are those folks too, even if, they're just coming across this show, blindly. We could have a moment where there could be a full body apparition show up on camera behind you, behind me, or whatever, and they'll still be like fake.
Yeah, there will be. They'll I mean, and unfortunately, I mean, they probably would have done it beforehand, but unfortunately, we live in a world now that everything you wonder, every picture you see that is out of the ordinary, my first thought is like, is that AI? Is that been augmented? I mean, I just can't believe anything anymore. Carol, which I was hoping that you could find us because we're not seem to be broadcasting on AM 950 Facebook page regarding Denise and Ernie. Wow, what a fascinating couple. I admire how they live their life and spirits and love to hear more of their story. We did have Ernie on Wednesday, and that was a great conversation. And yeah, it's such an interesting thing. And to your point, it's like you wonder, like on like Halloween last year when Shar asked, can a piece of equipment, she's in Stillwater, and she asked, can a piece of equipment go off in Eden Prairie? And it does. If you have people who are just like, oh my God. So, I don't know.
And for those who were just listening, you could hear in my voice something was happening.
Yeah, that's the best part.
That honestly, that was so much fun that happened. And she'd ask a question, and either she'd get the laser grid blinking over there, or I'd have my REM pod going off over here. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a fun night. We're going to be doing that again October 31st. We'll be doing a special broadcast. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to that. Don't forget, folks, please sign up for our event at the 300 Clifton Mansion. You can go to 300clifton.com. That's for September 30th, and that starts at 6:30 p.m. Lots of fun paranormal stuff that night. Full details on that page. We're going to be back Monday. As always, Adam, thank you very much for sticking with me tonight. And we're going to be back Monday, and we'll be talking about native energies. Everyone, have a fantastic weekend.
It's Brad Friedman, your friendly investigative blogger.